Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Yogi Plant. Super excited to be back. Because this is our first class for a while, I kind of designed this series or this sequence with that in mind. So we're going to take it slow. We're going to be very mindful of our poses. And it's kind of funny because when I was thinking about what we were going to do this week, I really realized how far things have come for me anyway, and how when I used to do Ashtanga, I wanted to zoom through all the poses and go further and do this and do that. And now I really, really appreciate all the intricacies of each of the postures, and things like forward folds. I'm really learning. There's a way to do them so with 100% mindfulness, where you're really in your body and really aware of what's going on rather than worrying about what you're going to do next. So I guess if everybody comes to class with a different intent, I just ask that maybe just listen to your body and be aware of what's going on, and maybe listen to where your body's saying, hey, I'm a little tense here or there or whatever, and where you need to breathe into that part of your body. So with that being said, today we're going to start our class with some yoga breath. I call it my Niagara Falls yoga breathing. So I'll just show you close up, and then we'll go get started. So basically what you're going to do is to start off, you're going to inhale and then put your thumb to your forefinger. So if you're sitting cross-legged, you'll have your hands out, kind of like that. So inhaling, thumb to pointer finger, and then you're going to be exhaling, and then inhaling one more time. And on that pause at the top, you're going to move to the next finger and exhale. Pausing at the bottom, inhaling. And then at that pause, you'll be moving to your next finger, which for me is my ring finger. Exhaling. Pausing, inhaling. And on the pause, baby finger to thumb, exhaling. And then we're just going to go backwards. So we're going to inhale. And on a pause, we're going to move to the ring finger. So after the pause, or on the pause after your inhale, that's when you move over. And you start the new finger with the exhale. So we're going to do a round of that. You can keep going where we just left off. I'm just going to start with my thumb again. So please go at your own pace. And if you finish your round, just focus on your breath and continue sitting in Sukhasana. So we're all meeting in Sukhasana, which is easy pose or cross-legged pose. Some of us are sitting on a block. And as you continue yoga breath, I invite you to just sit up a little taller. Open up those collarbones. Well, I guess you only have one. Open up that collarbone. Let your shoulders drop down your back. And find yourself on your mat, finding your presence, finding the rhythm of your breath. And being mindful of that pause at the top and the pause at the bottom. Maybe drawing in your navel a little bit closer to your body. And on your next exhale, I invite you just to let your hands drop behind your thighs. And as you exhale, just turning your face to the right-hand side. Maybe looking down if that feels okay. And on your next exhale, turning your head to look down center, holding for a breath. And on your next exhale, turning your head to look down left, holding for a couple of breaths here. And on your next inhale, looking forward. Continuing to breathe, and as you inhale, looking up to the ceiling. And as you exhale, looking right towards the ceiling. Inhaling, looking center, ceiling. And exhaling, looking left up at the ceiling. Keep in mind, you can have your eyes closed as well. You don't have to be looking at the ceiling. Just your face in that general direction. And on your next inhale, looking up center. And as you exhale, looking forward. Yay. We're going to start by rolling our shoulders. Just continuing with your yoga breath here, drawing some circles. And then changing directions. Pausing in center. And we're going to do some cactus arms here. Welcoming yoga back into our bodies. For anybody who was on a nice pause there for a while. Mindfully moving your hands up and down, feeling that movement in your shoulders. My shoulders tend to make a little bit of a creaking sound. Exhaling our hands down. We're going to move into a gentle twist. So we're going to inhale, bring our navel in. Left hand to right knee, right hand behind you. And as we exhale, we're going to twist to our right. Keeping breathing here. And as we inhale, come to center. Exhaling. Once again, bringing that navel in, right hand to the left knee, left hand behind you, inhaling, sitting up. And as you exhale, twisting through your waist to the left. Inhaling, coming to center. Exhaling, finding yourself back in Sukhasana. Sitting up straight, keeping that collarbone open. We're going to move into seated gate. So we're going to lift our left hand up, palm facing the right, inhaling. And as we exhale, your right hand can be on your mat, giving yourself some balance, reaching with your left hand towards the right side. If it feels okay, looking up at the ceiling. You want to get a little adventurous, you can take your right hand and just put it behind your back. My knuckles are touching the back of my hips. And that just asks your core just to do a little extra work in supporting your body in this pose. Inhaling, coming to center. Exhaling. Same thing on the other side now. We're going to lift our right hand up, palm facing the left, inhaling. And as we exhale, we're going to reach the right hand towards our left side. Once again, if you'd like, you can take your left hand and put it behind your back. Really breathing that energy up all the way along your right hand side. Drawing that navel in. Keeping those sit bones touching your block or the floor. Inhaling, coming to center. Exhaling back in Sukhasana. We're going to take our block out from under us. We're going to move into tabletop now. And tabletop is actually a very active pose if you want it to be. So making sure your wrists are underneath your shoulders, your knees are underneath your hips, drawing that lower belly in, looking forward. Breathing your shoulders back, down your back. Looking forward here. Nice strong tabletop. And on an inhale, we're going to move to cow, looking up at the ceiling, lifting our tailbone up towards the ceiling. Exhaling into cat. Bringing that tummy in, curving our shoulders. Inhaling back into cow, letting your tummy go. Curving your back in the opposite direction. And then as you exhale, going back to cat. We're going to do this a few times on our own now, just keeping your rhythm of your breath. Always inhaling into cow and exhaling into cat. I'm going to do one more round. Then we'll find each other in tabletop. Once again, keeping an active tabletop here. Looking forward. And as we exhale, we're going to flip our toes, lifting our bum all the way up, coming into our first downward dog. Pedaling those knees if you like. Maybe going side to side. You know, if I haven't done yoga for a long time and I go into my first downward dog, I'm like, oh, this is so awesome. And it always reminds me of how much I love yoga. Lifting that tailbone up towards the ceiling. Keeping your drishti on your upper thighs or your navel if you can get that high. I find that the upper thighs sometimes works best for me, especially my first dog. And as we exhale, we're going to bend our knees. And as we inhale, we're going to take a big step forward, bringing both feet to the front of the mat, however you need to get there. Inhaling up into Ardha Uttanasana. Taking a moment to, be mindful in this pose, bringing your hands up as high as you need them, up or could be your upper shins, could be your knees, could be up to your thighs even, letting those shoulders go down your back. And then as you exhale, reaching your hand down to the mat, bending those knees so that your tummy is touching. Please, well, not please, please is kind of a weird word when you're doing yoga. Try to get your hands to the floor. So you will need to bend your knees as much as you need to get your hands on the floor. And one way to work on your forward fold is once your hands are on the floor and you're breathing, as you exhale, try to straighten your legs just a little bit. And that, my friends, is an awesome forward fold. And on an inhale, we're going to bring our hands just to our hips. Exhaling here. And then on an inhale, we're going to come up all the way. And we're going to find ourselves now in Tadasana. So take a moment to ground yourself in Tadasana, opening up your feet a little bit. Maybe spreading your toes, feeling that mat underneath your toes. Dropping those shoulders down your back, opening up your collarbone. Bringing that energy up. And on an inhale, we're going to raise our hands to the ceiling, coming into salute. We're going to do our first sun salutation. And as we exhale, we're going to drop our hands all the way back down to the floor, bending those knees as we need them. Inhaling up halfway into Ardha Uttanasana. Exhaling our hands back down. And as we step back with our right foot, we're going to come into a low lunge. Looking forward here, double checking that our knee is over top of our ankle. Back foot, back toes are facing the front of the mat. And on an exhale, we're going to take our left foot back to meet our right, coming into our version of plank. So it could be a full-on plank. You could drop your knees. And as you look forward and exhale, you're going to drop down towards the mat, your tummy on the mat, face on the mat, shoulders hugging into your body. And stop here for a moment. We're going to move into Sphinx from here. So make note of where your hands are and then take your elbows and put them where your hands were. So I'm a little bit off my mat here, but that's okay. And your palms are facing down. Your thighs are engaged, your pubic bones pushing into the mat. We're just going to go into a gentle back bend here. So as we inhale, we're going to look up towards the ceiling, maintaining our yoga breath. Engaging our thighs here, turning our outer thighs up towards the ceiling. And as we exhale, we're going to come down. Putting our hands back to where our elbows were. We're going to come up, inhaling to tabletop. And as we exhale, after we find our proper tabletop setting, we're going to lift our bums up into downward dog. Spreading those fingers. Engaging your core. Maybe dropping your heels down just a little more than you did before. Your gaze up at your upper thighs. Tailbone reaching up towards the ceiling. And as we exhale, we're going to bend our knees. Inhaling, big step forward, bringing both feet to the top of the mat. Exhaling down into a forward fold. Inhaling up halfway, looking straight ahead, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhaling down, forward fold. And as we inhale, we're going to bring our hands all the way up, facing the ceiling, into salute, maybe giving yourself a little bit of a back bend here, and exhaling our hands down, back to Tadasana. Okay, guys, we're going to do one more sun salutation, just welcome ourselves back to our mat, back to yoga. We're going to inhale our hands up to salute. Engaging our thighs here, exhaling our hands down to the mat. Nice forward fold, getting your hands all the way on the mat by bending your knees. Inhaling up halfway. Exhaling our hands back down. This time we're going to step back with our left foot. Keeping that knee stacked over top of our ankle. Looking forward. Low lunge. And then we're going to exhale our way back to our left. Coming into a plank. Looking straight ahead. And exhaling ourselves all the way down. Once again, keeping those elbows really close to our body. This time we're going to come into baby cobra. So we're going to inhale, bringing our chest and our face up, engaging that core, engaging your abdominal muscles here. Holding for a few breaths, being sure to drop your shoulders down your back, not putting a lot of weight into your hands. And then we're going to exhale down, inhaling back to tabletop. And then as we exhale, lifting our bum to the ceiling in downward dog. Spreading those fingers, pushing into that fleshy part that's beneath your thumb. Maybe turning those elbow pits out towards the top of your mat. Pretty sure that Sage coined that word. I don't know. Maybe other kids say it. I don't know. I love it though. And just make sure you can't see your heels. So be sure that your heels are not peeking out at you from behind your feet. Lift that tailbone up towards the ceiling. One more breath here. And as we exhale, we'll bend our knees. Inhaling, big step up towards our hands. Bringing both feet together. Exhaling into forward fold. Inhaling up halfway. Exhaling back down once again, forward fold. And then inhaling all the way up towards the ceiling. Coming into a salute. And exhaling our hands down through Samastiti to Tadasana. So good to be back. Okay, so we're going to do some salutations here and have some fun with it. So we are going to inhale into salute. And as we exhale, we're going to bend our knees, bring our hands into prayer and our knees into chair. So looking ahead, letting those shoulders drop down your back. And just being sure you can see your toes peeking over top of your knees there. That's awesome. And as we exhale, we're going to drop our hands to the mat, keeping our knees bent so that we can touch the mat. Inhaling up halfway, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhaling our hands back down. This time stepping back with our right foot. Pausing in a low lunge. Exhaling our left foot back to meet our right. Once again, dropping your knees if you like, coming into plank, and exhaling our tummies all the way down. And this time, so you have two choices. You can do Sphinx, which we did first, or you can do Baby Cobra, which we did as well, or you can go on to full-on Cobra, so I will demonstrate that. So I'm going to press my pubic bone into the mat. I'm going to inhale up, lifting my chest and my head into Baby Cobra. I'm going to push into the mat and bring my body up into full-on Cobra. Continuing to breathe here. Exhaling back down. Inhaling up to tabletop. Engaging that navel. And as we exhale, open our toes. Coming into downward dog. Good job, everybody. I'm sure you're all feeling pretty warm now. I am anyway. It's going to be a glorious winter. Maybe dropping your heels down a little bit more. Looking up towards your thighs.
pushing through your palms, pushing that tailbone up towards the ceiling. And as we exhale, we're going to bend our knees. We're going to inhale both feet up towards the mat. Exhale, down to forward fold. Inhale, coming up halfway. Exhale, our hands back down. And we're going to take our right foot and step it back, preparing for warrior one. So you want to make sure your back foot's turned about 45 degrees. Left knee is stacked on top of your ankle. We're going to come up, hands to hips. And you'll feel that natural turn of your pelvis towards the front, top right-hand corner. This feels good. You can inhale your hands all the way up. Coming into your first warrior one. Nice and strong. Engaging that tummy. Engaging your thighs. Dropping those shoulders down your back. If it feels okay, looking up at the ceiling. Maintain that balance between your front foot and your back. And on the exhale, we're just going to drop our hands and we're going to pivot our feet. So we're going to pivot our feet so that the left and the right foot are parallel with your mat. And then we're going to open up our toes so that now our toes are facing the top corners. And then we're going to inhale our hands up into star. Really feeling the power of this pose. Looking up to the ceiling if that feels okay. Apparently this gives you confidence, so I don't know if you guys are feeling it. I'm feeling it. And as we exhale, we're going to bring our hands to prayer and bend our knees, coming into goddess. So if you're comfortable doing a certain level of goddess, you can try to go just a little bit lower to challenge yourself today, if that feels okay. And if you want to challenge yourself a little bit more, you bring your hands into cactus. Palms facing forward. Nice strong posture here. Bringing that navel in. Letting those shoulders relax. One more breath here. And on an inhale, we're going to straighten up. We're going to take our left foot now and pivot it all the way around. Our right foot is facing the back of the mat. So we're back in a position for warrior one. I have to always lengthen a little bit. You guys might too. And as we exhale, we're going to bend our right knee so it's stacked over top of our right ankle. Left foot once again is turned so that your pelvis is facing the left corner. We're going to inhale our hands to our waist. And if you're feeling good, you can inhale your hands all the way up to the ceiling. Dropping those shoulders down your back. Feeling that grounding through your feet, through your Pada Bandha. Nice strong core here. And as you exhale, taking your hands and putting them down on your mat on the other side of your foot, you're going to pivot your back foot now so that the toes are facing the top of your mat. And then we're going to take our right foot and bring it back to meet our left. So we're going to find ourselves in plank here. Looking forward as we exhale, we're going to bend our elbows, coming all the way down. And then you come up to your version of cobra. So you can do baby. Exhaling back down. Inhaling up. Finding our tabletop. And as we exhale, flipping our toes. And exhaling into our downward dog. One more breath here. And as we exhale, we're going to bend our knees. Inhaling, big step up to our hands. Stepping both hands up towards the mat, the back of the mat, I guess this time. Exhaling down to forward fold. And then bending our knees a little bit more. Coming into chair, we're going to inhale our hands into prayer. Peeking at our toes. Want to hold this for a couple breaths. Nice strong chair, engaging your core. Bringing your lower abdomen in. One more breath. And on exhale, we're going to straighten our knees, bring our hands up into salute. Inhaling into a little bit of a back bend. And exhaling our hands down. Back into Tadasana. All right, guys. So our standing pose for the next little while is going to be tree. So we're going to do that now. So I invite you to stand in Tadasana with your feet about shoulder distance apart. Don't worry about thinking too much about it. Just transfer your weight to your right foot and then bring your foot up. Your left foot up can either be on the mat, on your calf, or if you're feeling super adventurous, you can put your foot on the inside of your thigh. And then if it feels okay, come bring your hands into prayer. I invite you also, if you'd like to use the wall for this, you definitely can. We are online, so use the prop of your choice. You could even have a chair handy if you like. And the general rule of tree is just don't put your foot on your knee. Finding your drishti, if it feels okay, lifting your hands in the air. Dropping those shoulders down your back, standing tall. One more breath here. And on an exhale, we're going to take our left foot, put it down, dropping our arms, doing a little shake. And we're going to do the other side now. So same thing on an inhale, bring that right foot up to whatever height you would like it to be today. I missed yoga so much, I'm going for it. See? Bringing your hand into prayer. Smiling if you want. Sometimes that helps. If you're feeling like you're being a little too serious. And if it feels good, lifting your hands into the air. One more breath. Exhaling our foot down. Okay, that's awesome. Okay, so we're going to meet at the back of our mats, facing the top here, back into Tadasana. We're going to inhale our hands up to the ceiling. And as we exhale, we're going to bring our hands down into a little forward fold. And then we're going to caterpillar into plank. Holding for a breath, looking straight ahead. And then we're going to exhale down, gently lowering ourselves to the mat. We're going to do one more back bend here. So you choose if you'd like to do Sphinx, Baby Cobra, or Full On Cobra. I'm going to demonstrate Cobra today. So I'm going to inhale, pushing my pubic bone into the mat, lifting my collarbone and my head. This is Baby Cobra. I'm going to push into my mat, lifting myself up a little bit higher. I'm going to try not to scrunch my butt cheeks too much. I'm going to have a nice strong core. Letting my shoulders drop down my back. Exhaling back down. We're going to inhale up to tabletop. And then we're going to exhale into child's pose. So you take your version of child's pose. And you push your fingers into the mat. And that will stretch your shoulders out a little bit if your hands are out in front of you. Or some of you might just gently have your forehead facing on the ground and your arms on either side of you. Finding yourself. Through your breath. Couple more breaths here. And on an inhale, I invite you to gently bring yourself up. Just bring your hands out, or sorry, your legs out from under you. Do my favorite soccer mom pose, which is staff pose. So your legs are straight, your hands are just resting on the mat. Your toes are engaged, kind of pointing up towards your forehead. This is one of those poses that are actually quite active. Nice strong core. Dropping those shoulders, opening up that collarbone. Maybe imagining that string lifting your head just a little bit higher. Couple more breaths here. And exhale, I invite you just to slide your hands back behind you so that your fingers are facing your bum. We're going to do 2 ways to do plank here. In fact, let's do them both. So the first one, you're going to lift your knees up, and then you're going to inhale, opening up your chest to the ceiling. And as you exhale, if it feels okay, just dropping your head back. Actively lifting your chest up towards the ceiling. And on an exhale, we're just going to come out of it. And then we're going to do the other way. So you can do that way one more time, or if you'd like, you can try to do the full-on reverse plank. So keeping your fingers in the same place, opening up your chest, and on an inhale, lifting your pelvis up towards the ceiling. If it feels okay, dropping your head. Both forms are really good for working on your posture. This one requires a little extra arm strength. Exhale, coming down. Inhaling back into staff. And as you exhale, I invite you just to slide your hands along the floor, coming into a forward fold. If you can grab your feet, grab your feet. You can grab your shins, grab your shins. Inhaling, looking up. And then exhaling, forward fold. So a good place for your drishti or your eyes is at your toes, or wherever your hands are really. And as you inhale, there's always that opportunity to find a little space. And then as you exhale, maybe fold a little further. And the key to yoga, if you want to go a little deeper, is always hold the pose a little longer. Or find a way to go a little deeper. And as you inhale, coming back into staff. And as you're exhaling, we're going to move into boat pose. So you're just going to lean your body back, maybe bring your knees up here. And then as you inhale, bringing your feet off the ground. So your hands can be touching your knees. You want to keep your back straight so you're not hunching in. It helps to imagine opening up your collarbone here too. You can play with your hands here. You can touch your knees. 1, 2, 1, 2. Think wonderful thoughts about your yoga instructor because she's asking you to do both. One more breath. And we're going to exhale our feet down. Okay, guys, we're going to do that one more time. So we're going to inhale, sitting up straight. And as we exhale, we're going to move our body back. And then we're going to inhale our feet up. Some people might try straightening your knees if you're into that. You do you. Nice strong drishti here. Then on an exhale, we're going to bring our feet back down. And then we're going to lay down on our backs. Knees up. We're going to move into bridge here, so please don't turn your head to look at me. If you guys remember, which you most likely do, you're going to just bring your heels into as close to your bum as you can. And yes, I know I just turned my head because I'm not lifting up yet. So you can look if you're on the ground. Once you start to lift your pelvis in the air, please don't turn your head. Your neck is very important to me. All right, so your hands are flat on the mat. You're not pushing into the mat by any means. You're just resting your hands down. And as you inhale, you're going to start to raise your pelvis into the air. Using your thighs. Try not to clench your butt cheeks too much. And if that's feeling okay, you can take your hands and just put them together underneath your bum. That helps lift your pelvis up just a little bit higher. So continue to breathe here. Find that yoga breath. Maybe your ujjayi breath. Finding strength in your thighs. Trying to keep your thighs close together so they're not splayed out. One more breath here. And as we exhale, we're just going to slowly lower down a little bit by a little bit. We're going to do that one more time. So you might need to reposition your feet a little bit if they were slipping out. Bringing your heels to below your buttocks. And as you inhale, lifting up your pelvis to the sky. Pushing through your feet. And if it feels okay, clasping your hands behind your back. And as you exhale, slowly start to lower down. Once your body's down on the ground, you can inhale your knees up to your chest, giving yourself a little hug. Letting those shoulders drop to the mat. Feeling that reclined child's pose. One more breath here. And as we exhale, we're going to let our feet touch the mat, keeping our knees up. We're going to do some figure 4 here to open up our hips by stretching out our glutes and our hamstrings. So we're going to take our left ankle, cross it over our right thigh so that our legs are making a figure 4. And then we're going to inhale our hands and just grab the back of our right thigh here. And as we exhale, we're just going to pull our right thigh in towards our chest. Some of you might not have to go too far. I know I don't. To start feeling that stretch along your left glute and your left hamstring. So keeping your head resting on the floor, allowing your shoulders to also be on the floor, and just using your hands to bring in your right thigh. If you feel like you need something going on with your right foot, you can always do some ankle rolls. I know I like to do ankle rolls as much as I can. And as you exhale, maybe just come bringing your thigh in just a little bit more. A couple more breaths here. And as you exhale, letting your right foot come back down to the mat, letting your left foot meet it. So your knees are up, both feet are on the mat. We will do the same thing on the other side, taking your right ankle, crossing it on your left thigh, inhaling your hands up towards your left thigh. So now your left foot is off the ground. And as we exhale, pulling that left thigh in towards our chest. And, you know, often your one side's not going to feel the same as your other side. It's totally normal. If you want to make your left ankle active, you can do some rolls here. Or find stillness is fine too. And on your next exhale, maybe bringing your left thigh just a little bit closer. Couple more breaths. And on your next exhale, bringing both feet now down to the mat. Okay, and now I invite you to straighten your legs, inhaling your hands up to either cactus pose, or your hands could be straight out on either side of you. We're going to go into a nice reclined twist here. So we're going to inhale our right knee up into the air. And as we exhale, we're going to let our right knee fall to our left as we turn our heads to the right. So naturally, of course, you'll feel that right hip come up off the mat. And if you're feeling any discomfort underneath your right knee, you can always take a block and just prop it under your right knee so it has something to rest on. Couple more breaths here. Inhaling your right knee up, forehead facing the ceiling, exhaling your leg down. Same thing on the other side. And inhale our left knee up now. And as we exhale, we're going to let our left knee fall to the right as we turn to face the left. And once again, if you feel any discomfort, this is what I was talking about. You can take your block And wherever you meet, have your block meet your knee wherever it's at. So it could look like that. And then you could slowly change the positioning of your block as your knee slowly falls to the right hand side. One more breath here. We'll inhale our left knee up, facing our forehead, facing the ceiling. And we'll exhale our legs straight. If you like, you can inhale your knees up to your chest, giving yourself a hug. Breathing into this posture, letting those shoulders fall down, your back fall down to the mat. Broadening that collarbone. Maybe wiggling your toes a bit. And then when you're ready, we're going to take Shavasana. So we're just going to straighten our legs, letting them fall down towards our mat, letting our feet fall open, resting however they want, whatever feels natural and good. If it feels okay with you, your palms might be facing up towards the ceiling. You can let go of your breath here. Maybe taking a big sigh with me. So we're going to inhale through our nose. Big exhale through our mouth. And one more time. Just letting go of that breath. Letting your tongue fall back away from your teeth. Letting your jaw relax. Your forehead. And just noticing parts of you that are touching the mat. So your heels, your calves, feeling how your thighs feel, touching the ground, glutes, part of your back, shoulders, your hands, the back of your hands, your forearms, upper arms, back of your head. Maybe noticing that space between your eyeballs and your eyelids. And I invite you to start wiggling those toes and your fingers. Maybe lifting your arms over your head, stretching it out however you need to. And then when you're ready, turning back onto your side, resting your head on your arm. Maybe making that note of gratitude if you like. And then when you're ready, just bringing yourself up to sitting. So thanks guys for coming to our first of our series this fall. I am grateful for all of you. Namaste.